This is going to be an interview in English,
Yes.
and I know it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for both of us. So we go slow, and if I said words or anything you don't understand, you just ask me again, and I'll try to explain. And I just want to make sure that you're aware of, we're taping this to a workshop I'm going to hold in Vienna.
Yes, I am.
And I'm allowed to use this interview public.
Yes.
Yes, I just want to make sure about that. So, and we never met before actually, Nina. No. But I got in contact with you because you're a knitter, so to speak.
Yes,
Yes.
I am.
How come you became a knitter or began knitting at all?
My mom was a knitter,
Yes.
and when I was 5, 6, or 7 years, she taught me how to knit. And some years or a year or so, I spent the afternoons with my girlfriend from school, and we were knitting some teddy bears and like that.
Wow.
And somewhere I still have the first pattern my mom made to me.
Oh wow, you have.
Mm.
Ah, so it's a special one.
Yes,
Yes.
for me it's special.
For you, it's special.
Yes.
Yes. Your mom's still alive?
No.
No. So that's a part of her you still can keep.
Yes, and my grandmothers at both sides they were knitters as well.
Oh wow. So it's kind of in the genes.
Yes.
Yes. So to speak.
When I was older, 17 or 18, I began at a teacher school in handicraft, and knitting is one of my skills. Like to knit because it is relaxing and fun to do.
Yeah.
And I go at the library once a week and meet with some other knitters, and we talk about the knitting and the situation in the town and in the
Wow.
and some it's library. What do we call, where to read papers, and you have to be silent, but we are not. And some of the men who comes at daily basis to read the paper, they say, it's like when I was child and my mom has sat with her friends and they were knitting and talking.
Oh wow.
Yes.
I get this feeling it's more about the process.
Yes, more. It's yes, it is most about the process. And sometimes I say to myself, you have to do this, finish this, and I do it. But they can be 4 or 5 years old. The things I end.
Wow.
So I always make some classic things. Yes, it's a lot about the process, and I don't recognize what's happened around me when I'm knitting. My husband says, "Listen to me."
Yeah.
But I'm.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about that. What's going on when you do that?
Yes, it is just relaxing, using the hands and the focusing on the knit work.
Yes.
And I like that very much.
Yeah. So what difference does it make? The focusing, the knitting with the hands.
When I'm at work and there's sometimes very busy. And I'm a little stressed, and especially when I went to holiday last time. The first week, I'm almost knitting all the time. And then I calm down and become relaxed and can you make some other things in the next week. So I use it for calming down. Yes, when I'm relaxed, I make some things that is more difficult. When I are stressed and just need it, I make some karklud, hvad hedder det?
Yeah, simple work.
Some easy things, and when I'm relaxed and I increase the difficulties in
challenge
it.
yourself.
Yes.
Yes. Wow. It's interesting, the thing between the more relaxed you are, the more you are able to focusing and challenging yourself and making it a little bit more difficult.
Yes.
Then when you're stressed, it's just like
yes,
you have
yes,
to.
Yes, I have to make this stress go out in the arms and the go.
In the arms.
Yes. I'm often thinking knit work through before I started.
Yes.
And I actually read it all and several times before I start, and I'm always in my head. The next part is starting up while I'm still knitting the. So I'm rather systematic about the knit work.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's a challenge too, I think, and also the funny part.
Yeah.
That's a part of the. The fun is to do it, not to finish it, but to do it.
Yes. And when did this process start? It's the same for me if I'm knitting or if I'm cooking. I start reading the recipes and then I decide, does it taste good? Yes.
Is it easy or difficult to make? Where do I want to change some things? It's the same process. So I often, if I see a picture like this and think, oh, that's nice, then I have to read it before I decide if I really want to buy this knitting recipe and yarn. Yes.
Yeah. Oh wow. I want to talk to you about kind of a special moment or special episode or something that you might remember that's been quite rememberable. A special thing you might remember about knitting.
About knitting.
Yes. You might give it a minute's thought to find a special moment.
I think I have a lot of special moments with knitting because I have over time challenged myself with some very different things. Once I made a sweater for one of my friends who is very tall, very, very tall. I had to increase the pattern with 2 sizes. And because I have this education, I'm able to make a pattern myself. And it was rather funny to do that. And I had that feeling about that sweater that I was knitting and knitting and knitting and knitting and knitting and knitting, and it was still too small, knitting and knitting and knitting. But I had also the feeling that I remember that sweater very well, and it was knit over a rather long time, half a year I think or so. And after I have knitted, the pattern was like a newspaper, and then I was sewing some letters in around the sweater that says the name of the kindergarten that he was the headmaster of at that time, and that's a kindergarten that I'm a head teacher for now.
Wow.
And I remember that very much, and he loved the sweater. That was the very best.
Yeah. Can you say something more about this special moment or the sparkling moment about knitting the sweater for your friend?
Yes. I think it was because it it was a very big project because it was a big man, and I spent a lot of time doing that knitting, and I came to love that sweater and remembered it very well, and because he was so fond of it, he always wore it, and 3 years later he has wear it up. It was and he
It was
could
used
and he couldn't understand why. And we said it's because you wear it summer or winter, morning or evenings. You always and that's nice when someone likes the work you do. No, I don't think I have a similar experience with a baby blanket for my grandson. He is 5 months, and I was knitting that blanket, and when I gave it to the mother, she said it was something that we wanted because we only have such a big blanket, and he loved it, and every picture I saw of this lovely little boy, he was lying on that, and that's
yes.
good for a grandmother.
Yes, it is. It goes to your heart,
Yes,
right? Yeah.
I have actually managed to learn my daughter how to knit. She wasn't a very easy student, but she is kind of being a good knitter now, and we have talked about when we was knitting for that little baby. There's a lot of love in knitting for other people.
Yeah.
If it's a friend or a boyfriend or a daughter or a baby, that's not the point. It's the point you are thinking a lot of that a person when you knit something for them.
And what difference does that make?
I think it's a kind of connection to the person you're making it for.
Yeah. Wow.
I have a special moment about knitting. It wasn't about me being it wasn't me that was knitting, but my daughter was in India. She's a preschool teacher, and she had to educate some grown-up women, and she wanted to educate them in knitting. And she didn't knit herself.
Oh wow!
She had tried a lot of times, but she got mad of it. And by the internet, I made her understand the knitting with drawings and telephone calls, and she actually managed to educate those 20 ladies in knitting.
Oh, this is amazing!
Yeah,
right?
I think it was rather amazing.
Wow. So how did you do that?
I found a lot of pictures and sent to my daughter, and then I explained it to her, and she tried and said, now I can this and I can this, and and we make some very simple recipes that they could do. So it's.
And do you know how come that your daughter wanted them to be able to knit?
It was women who were stressed and in a lot of reasons, and she thought my mom and my grandmom has had enjoyed and relaxed by knitting. It must be good for them, and she made some different handicrafts with those ladies, paper folding and other things, but she actually managed to and she also learned herself.